to the first virtual ZBA meeting for Southwick on today, the 8th of June. Let's see who's here. In attendance, we have Bill Liss, Chris Mastriani, Tom Stapleton, and the secretary, Wendy Cordero, and Paul Gregoire. I think that's everybody. So missing would be, or absent would be, Mike Parent. Okay, so that's the way we kick it off. So,
Is there any mail to virtually sign, Paul?
yeah. Let me get the right paperwork here. We'll read it in and get it going. Okay, please find below the legal notice for the following hearing for publication in the Westfield Evening News, School Street, Westfield, Mass. 01085. From the Board of Appeals, Town of Southwick, Mass. 01077. For release May 26th and June 1st. Notice is hereby given of a public hearing to be held Monday, June 8th, 2020, online via Zoom at 7 p.m. to hear the petition of Jason Lichtenberger, 105 Lakeview Street, Southwick, Mass. The petitioner is requesting a front setback variance of 25 feet in order to add a garage to the existing house. All right, Mr. Falsetti.
Yes,
You are there.
I am.
Okay. Well, all right, I think we've all got a copy of the paperwork,
Yep.
Okay.
so we can start from that. You want to first off let us know what you're looking at, what you're thinking, what you're.
Do you have a picture of the drawings?
Yep.
Yes.
I do.
Okay. So it's a one-car garage on the end of the house. I've already got a approval from the Conservation Committee. I got to put a silt fence up at the top of the hill from the lake. That'll be 50 feet from the water where the silt fence is going to be. So I mean, the house doesn't go, the addition of the garage doesn't go any closer to the road than the house does now. It's actually a little further away from the road than the house is now.
Which isn't far.
Art thought I should get a variance because it's closer than 75 feet. So
Yeah, you need one.
Well, there's a lot to this piece of property, actually. Because it's an R20. There's a pretty good sized frontage that's needed in a good sized acreage. That doesn't meet either.
Well, we can't change that too much.
I understand. No, I'm saying there's more variance than just the setback.
Yeah.
oh, there is.
Oh, yeah. Now, Glenn, I got a question for you.
Okay.
From where the house is positioned right now, I drove by this yesterday.
Yeah.
Because we got to go from the closest point of the house to the road, not where the garage is.
Right.
It looks like it's like 25 feet off the road.
Oh, no.
You're showing 20.
Oh, yeah, that corner, the closest corner of the house on the other end of the house.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got 27 feet actually, right.
yeah. So there's like 43 feet needed for that, really, I think, for the setback.
But I'm not doing anything to that end of the house.
But it's
No. I think he's right.
right.
Yeah, we're not only the garage. We're looking at dimensions from the garage from the street,
Right.
not the house.
The closest corner of the garage to the street is 57 feet.
Okay.
Glenn, I need to have an idea where the driveway is. You didn't show that on here.
I didn't show it.
No, sir.
Because when I put the application in, they made me draw it in. So the driveway is parallel to, if you look on the property line, on the left-hand side of the property line, borders with number 84, property 84.
Correct.
It's along that 87-foot.
Yep.
Driveway is parallel to that. It's actually pretty much right against that property line. And it goes all the way up to actually where I want to build the garage.
You're saying that's a one-car garage?
It's a one-car garage, right? It's a one-car garage, but it's a two-story garage.
Oh, yeah.
The second floor of this garage is going to be level with the kitchen or the living area of the house, so that they can they're gonna turn it into a workout room or something, or a recreation room, or just gonna be a wide open room above the garage. So the garage will be more or less basement level, and the second floor of it will be living area level. It's kind of like a raised ranch.
I'm still trying to understand where the door of the garage is.
The door of the garage, um,
On the 20-foot side or the 24-foot side?
do you have this picture here? Wait a minute.
Nice picture of the light, anyway.
You have this picture here?
Yeah, I'm sure we do.
All right, that's the end of the garage, the end of the house from the left side.
Yeah,
So that's the garage door you're looking at there at the
Okay.
bottom, and then there's one window above it for the second floor of the garage.
all right. So it is from the end. So they're gonna come, the driveway gonna come up and turn into the
Right.
garage.
Come up the driveway and turn right into the garage.
All right.
Question. I got 20 by 24 for the foundation size.
Right,
That's a one car?
right.
Big one.
I don't know. I think that's a two car.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'd be pretty tight to get two cars in there. But there's gonna be a post in it holding up the floor, so. I mean,
Yeah.
they only have one car. It's designed for one car. It's only gonna have one door.
Yeah, but you could have one two door.
I mean,
Well, actually, quite a bit of that. I'm gonna lose 5 feet inside that to a staircase.
Well,
There's gonna be a staircase in there so that they can get out of their car, go up the stairs into the second floor.
my point is, I guess I'm looking at the lot size. If you look at the size of the lot that you're dealing with,
Right.
and to put another, I mean, that's as big as the house.
Well, the house is 28 feet wide.
Yeah.
28 by 36, the house.
I mean, it
So I don't know how you get that, but
well, it's a hell of a size. It's doubling for the size of the lot. I'm saying you're putting a pretty big foundation extra on that down there. Pretty tight. It's a tight driveway going up there as it is too.
I mean, it's
I've
not
got a
really that
picture of it. I
tight.
don't know if I can share this picture I've got. I took it from the bottom of the driveway up the hill.
Right.
Because if you're putting on, you got a pretty sharp turn to get to the garage. There's not a lot of room up there.
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like you could do it with a car pretty easily. 24 foot. I mean, that's pretty common for a depth garage. I could make it 22 if you thought that would be better, but I think I measured their vehicle. Their vehicle is like 20 feet long.
I mean, a standard two-car garage is 20 by 22, and a single car is 12 by 22.
But why are we
I
gonna
understand what you were trying to do for the inclement weather and all that, because there is no garage.
Right.
I'm inclined to say that, one car would be more than enough there. Just from the size that we're dealing with in the lot but
16-foot garage door seems a little excessive for one-car garage.
right.
If you're planning for two cars, it's all right. Just let us know. It doesn't have to be a secret.
Well, when I designed it the first time, because this is the second design with these people, It was smaller. And then they asked me, well, what if we add 10 feet to it? And I said, then it's this much more. I mean, in my eyes, I was thinking if I could get a variance for a 10 by 24, why couldn't I get a variance for a 20 by 24? What's the difference? It's not coming any closer.
You don't have the lot size.
Well, isn't that the purpose of a variance to change that? Or I didn't realize the lot size had anything to do with it. That's probably my mistake somehow. I don't know.
So may I ask a question?
Back, yes.
Back to Paul's thought about the driveway. It looks like in the end view that the door is on the end of the house. Is that correct? The garage door?
Right.
All right. So that's a pretty tight turn, isn't it? To get a car in there?
That's what I said.
A 20, especially you said it was 20 feet long. That's a pretty big, like a Tahoe or some, Denali, right?
I don't think it's that tight. I think they'll have plenty of room to pull into the garage, back out, and then down the driveway, to be honest with you.
Well, if it's 27 feet to that wall, and the car's 20 feet long, that's 7 feet. I guess I don't know. It's just the other, and also my concern too is that has anyone looked at that wall as far as its structural capability to withstand what you're going to be putting the load there?
That cement wall.
Yeah. Is
Yeah, I
that
have
their
no
wall?
idea.
Is that
What's that?
their wall?
I'm not sure whose wall it is. The neighbor is new, and these people have only been there a couple of years, and that wall was there before either one of them moved in. It looks like a pretty solid concrete wall.
But it's about maybe 5 feet tall, right? 4 feet tall, something like that.
Yeah, I think on the neighbor side it is, yeah.
I want to plead ignorant here. The wall was made of what, concrete or stone?
The wall is concrete. It's like a foundation wall kind of a thing, a poured foundation wall.
Okay, what's the width of it?
It's I think it's 10 inches wide.
10?
So the driveway, on my notes, the driveway is 19 feet wide. So there's probably, I guess I should have written that on there somewhere, but
You're going right along the wall, right? With your driveway, you must be right abutting it almost.
not right against it. No, there's 5-6 feet between the driveway and the wall. It's just parallel to the wall.
Hmm.
So there's probably 30 feet there between the wall and the garage, if not more.
Well, it's got 24 as a minimum in your drawing.
I got, oh, it does?
Hmm.
24.
24 to 27.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, on the short side of the back of the house, it's 56 feet to the wall, so minus 24 is 30. Yeah, so
Well, it says 27.
27. Okay, yeah, 24, 25. Yeah. 27. The car's about 20 foot.
Right, so and if you're 5 feet away, now you got 22, and your car is 20 feet long. It's pretty tight.
Well, I'm sure there's solutions for that. They can either back down the driveway or I can extend the driveway a little bit. I'm going to have to dig down. I'm going to have to eliminate like the top part of that driveway is going to have to be eliminated anyway. And I'm going to have to dig down and level the top of the hill off and go down a couple of feet anyway to make it low enough to drive in anyway. So, there's going to be some repair paving up there. So if I pave that whole little area up the top there, flatten it out and pave the whole thing. probably won't have a problem getting in and out.
It looks like from your drawing, it's almost at the grade line, isn't it?
It's almost at the grade line, right? I don't have to go down much, but I do have to go down a little bit. The grade line that I show in my drawing is finished grade.
Okay.
If you look at the drawing kind of close, the garage door is like a foot and a half below the actual grade at the house. The grade line I drew there is the backyard.
Is there a reason that you didn't go straight into the garage?
From up the hill.
Yeah.
Well, then I'd have to put in a whole new driveway, and the yard drops off pretty steep right there next to where I'm putting the garage. It drops off on a pretty good clip, and then I'd have to create a whole new driveway, and I'd have to make it deeper the other way. It's a lot more work and a lot more expense to make a whole new driveway.
I'm going to jump away from the driveway for a minute. I'm looking at that drawing that shows grade level.
Yep.
And I'm looking, likely you got it in a couple of places, that center column you've got to support the second floor. You've got that
Right.
sitting on a little block of 24 by 24 by a foot.
Yeah, that's a footing like you'd see in a house for a lolly column in a basement.
Well, I think you got to go deeper than that.
Well, it'd be a footing level. It'll be at footing height, you know, on it won't be on fill. It'll be below the cement floor.
But it's just 12 inches thick.
Right.
Right.
That's normal.
Why don't you go all the way down with a 4-footer?
A 4-footer.
Go down to 4 feet, yeah. Then you know you got all the strength in the world.
Well-
It's not that hard. I mean, it's a couple extra bucks for concrete and rebar. You are
Well,
putting,
I mean, I'm not going to be digging the center of this thing out down to 4 feet. I'm only digging down around the edges down 4 feet. I'm not digging the center out 4 feet. I'm not going to dig out 4 feet of the whole garage and then backfill it. I'm only
Ah.
going to dig out where the walls go, and the center is going to stay at virgin soil. So, I mean, they don't even do that in a new house, you know.
where's that 12-inch block? How are you gonna dig that out?
Well, the excavator will dig it out
No, well, why don't the excavator go down to 4 feet?
because it's not necessary.
According to whom?
According to everybody, it's not code. That's not a footing supporting. The footing is on grade. It's not exposed to the frost. It's inside of a building.
I
It's exposed to
understand.
the weather.
I
The frost
understand.
isn't going to get into this garage.
I would certainly want to talk to the building inspector about code for that.
We can definitely talk to him about it, but I think that's a bridge I got to jump off with him if you want to put it on a questionnaire.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk with him because I just don't believe that, maybe people are doing this with just putting a block a foot thick and saying, okay, good enough. But I don't think it meets code.
Go on.
But if he says,
Every house I built in the last 40 years has had the same thing, a 12-inch thick, 2 foot by 2 foot footing underneath the post.
Glenn, what's the beam material?
The beam is, it's a laminated,
Like a
Laminated.
microlam?
microlam.
you said here was 2 pieces of 1 3/4 by 12-inch, right?
Right, that's 2 microlams nailed together.
Yep, okay.
I wrote,
I'm
land
stuck on the
beam.
size.
What's that?
That's a big piece add on to that house up there.
Well, I can go 12 feet with that beam, a laminated beam. I can go 12 feet. And I'm only carrying joists that are 10 feet long.
Right.
And there's no roof load on it because it's a truss roof. There's only the weight of the floor. So I can support a 2-story building with that beam. In this case, it's actually overkill.
Mm-hmm.
But because the post is in the middle, they're only going to be able to park a car on one side. On the other side is probably going to be a staircase and a door going into the basement of the main house, and a staircase going up to the second floor, and probably a little workbench area or something. Hang their kayaks or.
Why don't you show the staircase in here?
Because the exact location of it isn't, I'm not quite sure of it yet. That's something the homeowner and I have to work out still.
Well,
I'm
I
not
mean,
even sure if the exact location of that door I drew in there is in the exact spot it needs to be. Because I don't really know what's on the other side of that wall in the basement. If they got a room there or storage or.
Yeah, well.
well, we're getting away from what we should be looking at, which
Yep.
is the variance for the distances. I'm sorry I brought up the other stuff, but, well, I'm not sorry, but I think it needs to be addressed. So we want to look at the distance. All right.
Well-
So this is R20, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, what are we needing?
You need 26,976 square feet variance. That'll be 40,000 and 150 frontage. We have 112.6.
Chris, are you on all that on your little sheet?
Yeah, I agree with that. The one thing I had about the frontage, there's this little jog that's 34 feet. I don't know if this is considered a corner lot or whether we can add that 34 feet onto the frontage that's actually on Lakeview Street.
I don't think so.
It's on Lakeview, actually. That's
I
not
think that little spur is still Lakeview.
yes, it is.
So I would say maybe we just add that on to the frontage, and then we need then we only need a 3-foot variance instead of a
112.
37-foot variance.
It should be added all together. It's all frontage.
Okay,
Plus 23 plus 69.
right. So that comes out to I come up with 147 when you add those 4 numbers
Right.
there.
I agree.
So we would need a 3-foot variance on the frontage, and then a 28,000 on the square footage. In addition to whatever front setback that we agree on.
You still need a 75-foot front setback there, right?
Right.
And the side should be 10 feet. We're going to meet the 10 because you got 27 feet there, so that's okay. And your rear should be 40, and I think you got more than that. I think you're covered with that.
Yep, I agree.
So we just have to look at so 75, and you got 57.
18.
We haven't done a hardship yet.
A good point.
Winter.
Crazy. Yeah, whatever. All right, so what did we say? What did we say? 75 minus 57?
Yep.
So the 18.
But that's That's 57 from the actual street, correct, Glenn?
It is.
We don't know that to be the property line, actually.
I don't know that to be the exact property line, right? That's why I went a little bit heavy on the variance request.
So that's why you put the 25 there for the variance?
That's why I put the 25, so I'd make sure I was
Okay,
safe. Property next door is like a brand new house, and they have pins. So the corner that I measured off of, that's, what is it, lot 86 there. That's a brand new house, and it has pins on the front corners. So I was able to measure off of that pin and a pin down by the lake to get those dimensions. But
Let's look
There
at
were
this
no
pin
pins.
that's on the street there, 86. How close is it to the gray lines that you're showing? I mean, is it right on that connection of those two gray lines?
yeah, it was right there. Yep.
It wasn't up 2 feet from that, or it's right on that connection.
Right.
Okay.
According to, using the computer, when you hit the button on the computer and it measures a line for you.
Yep. Well, that's where it shows it. That's fine then. I'll go along with that. The thing's as best as you're going to get. So Tom, back to your question.
Well, what's a hardship?
The only hardship I can come up with is there's the winter. That's why they want the garage. They want to get out of the winter. They don't want to have to get out of their car, walk across the yard, up the stairs, and into the house
Catching half that.
during the winter. They confronted me in January about building this, and I didn't think I could put it together that quickly. And obviously, here it is June, and we're still talking about it.
yeah, well, I consider that a reasonable hardship for, everybody wants to have a garage to get their vehicles in and out of the elements, so I don't have a problem with that.
I think everyone sees that as being reasonable.
Yeah, that sounds good to me too. I'll say that that driveway is just kind of nagging at me, and I think it would be nice if it were sketched in and you took a little. I can see this guy getting to the top of the driveway and just. I don't know, man. Can you make that turn?
Well, if somebody got a 4x4 they can drive up there just to check
He
it out.
drives his vehicle is like a what would it be, like a Ford Explorer kind of thing?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, Mr. Parent just joined us. Good evening, sir. How's the golfing?
It was wonderful. What a nice night for it.
Good. Are you up to speed on these drawings? And we're talking about 105 Lakeview.
I have looked at them and I looked at the property. Yeah.
Okay, we don't want to rehash everything. I mean, we get it pretty well covered by now. So we're still concerned about the driveway and making sure there's adequate room to be able to turn the vehicle into the garage. And then maybe back out and come on down. I think
What
we
do you
need,
think, Glenn, about that?
What's that?
What do you think about that? Are you concerned about that access to the garage up the hill. turn the
I'm not
corner?
concerned about it. I think they'll have plenty of room. That, you know, they got the wide door there. If they have to go in on a little bit of an angle, they can do it. I see people do it all the time. Whether they can back out and drive out, that's another thing. They're probably, unless I expand the blacktop area at the top of the hill so that they can back around and then drive out, I don't think they're gonna have a problem with it. But they back down the hill now. If they drive in and then back down, it's no different than it is now, except that they can drive into a garage.
Oh, they park where the garage would be,
No, they don't. They just park at the top of the driveway right now.
so they don't turn.
They don't turn.
Top of what driveway?
The driveway that's there,
Left side of it.
right? It runs
Okay.
parallel to the 87-foot 3 and
Yeah, I don't recall seeing it, that's all.
It's just rocks, isn't it?
Just gravel.
no, it's blacktop.
Boy, I must be blind. I don't recall it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you don't have a drawing with the picture on. But when I presented the application to the Conservation Committee, they made me drive the driveway in, and everybody was supposed to get a copy of that picture with the driveway drawn on it.
Yeah, we don't have it.
We did not get it.
This paperwork got lost in the clerk's office for a month or so.
Well, under the current conditions, I think everything gets lost in the clerk's office right now.
Well, they didn't realize that they were supposed to take this paperwork
Hey, Wendy,
until I
Yes.
talked to Wendy.
can you share my screen?
They're on there now.
No, let's see. That's a video, but not the computer screen.
Oh, no.
I tried, it says the host has to give you permission. I have a picture of the house I was gonna show.
Oh,
Yeah,
Right.
I'm looking at the satellite picture, and the driveway is definitely there. I agree with Paul. I don't even remember seeing it when I drove by there twice, but looking on the satellite, it's clear that it's there, and it goes parallel to that 87-foot property line. So that shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, it's definitely there. It actually ends before the road. There's a little dirt before it turns tar. So I think you might have missed it because it's like missing a little bit on the end.
Okay.
Okay. Well, if you can't share, then I can't show it to you.
maybe after.
Got it, Wendy?
Well, she just had you on single. You could hold the picture up.
I don't have a physical copy. It's on my screen. It's a JPEG, you know what I mean? But, hang on. Hang on, we're gonna use technology to the best.
We'll get it right. Hang on a sec, Bill.
No, hold on. Here.
Wendy, if you just click on the dots next to his name, I think it'll say make co-host. Then he could share the screen.
Okay. Okay, it looks
Okay.
like it went through.
Okay, now you should be able to share, Bill. Look at you.
Thank you.
Okay, you
Doug.
got me? Everybody can see this?
Oh, very good.
Okay, so the house, you can see where the house with the deck or the stairs are now. The driveway is right adjacent on the left.
So if we were to go down and drive up that and try to make that turn,
That where the deck is, see that porch right now, Paul?
Yep.
By the door, that's what I was talking about. You gotta go up and, that's a pretty sharp turn to put 24 feet off the end of the house. Or 20.
You know what would be interesting? If you were to put up sink two 2x4s that emulate the opening of the door where they belong, Glenn, and see if the guy can get his car in there. It'd be a real shame to build that whole thing and have it be jammed up like that.
Are we good? You guys got the picture now?
yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna stop share. Okay.
So, okay, I could take that advice, and if I have to, I can shrink it down to 22. If that's the case. It's worth trying. It's worth looking into. Absolutely.
That'd be a pretty simple thing to do. Just sink a couple 2x4s and see if you can turn the corner. Maybe you'd want to slide it. I don't know what you want to do, but just don't build it and have people use it.
Well, I'm definitely going to have to modify these prints a little bit before I go for the permit, as far as exactly where's the door going to go into the basement, exactly where the stairs are going to be. Those little things like that. I mean, if I have to modify it down to 22 feet, it's still going to be big enough to get their car in.
Wow.
Well, at this point, it looks like we are not convinced of anything to be able to, excuse me, to decide if we should give a variance of 25 feet. Maybe
We're not-
we'll spend another few days to go
Continue.
run a car up there and take a look like we were just talking about, lay down some timbers and see, maybe have a better feel.
And that's your only concern is whether they can drive into it or not? That's the only thing holding us back?
Well,
Offhand, I'd say that's what it sounds like from the conversation that we've been having. We want to make sure you can make that turn and get into it. If they can't, then it's all a moot point.
Well, it comes to a size factor, I guess, in my mind too, as far as putting the 24-foot or 20 up on that lot, but
So,
it goes right to the, I mean, if you did the full thing, Glenn, that goes right to the driveway, right? That driveway would go right by the garage.
it's close to the edge of the driveway, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I have a couple of stakes there now. Well, I did have them. They're probably not there now, but
So for, Paul, for emergency vehicle, what do you need for that? 15 feet? You know what I mean, to get access up there?
I'm really not sure.
I know it's wider than a driveway.
Oh, yeah. I think,
Because that wall's right there too.
I'm just thinking of like in parking areas,
Mm-hmm.
you need 24 feet.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm just raised a lot of questions for me. It's pretty close to that line.
Well, we need to go down there and meet up with Glenn and try out a few things and see what looks reasonable, and then get back to this thing.
Right.
So,
game.
essentially, I think that's what we're saying is we need to look at that. So therefore, we need to postpone a little bit.
Continue it.
All right.
Maybe do more detail on his end too,
All right. So who wants to meet me there and when? I'll go there ahead. They're home all the time. They work from home, so
Oh, okay.
I could drive a couple stakes in the ground and meet anytime. I live right around the corner.
Yeah.
I'm available a lot, but not 24 hours a day, obviously.
Right.
Anybody else? Hey,
Tom,
Chris,
my engineer, Tom, should be there.
I can do that, but do we need to, I can do that. Sure. I don't know. I mean, do we need to witness it? It's really, if the builder and the homeowner are satisfied, I guess, isn't that adequate? Or if you want me to go witness it, I'll do that. Would you guys prefer that?
I feel more comfortable knowing that
Well,
it can't be done.
Yeah.
That we're just blowing,
All right, Glenn, pick a time.
And your engineering background may help too, Tom.
All right.
Pick a time.
pick a
Well-
day first.
You're probably busier than I am, Glenn.
And probably what?
You're probably busier than I am, so whatever, pick a time, and I live right around the corner.
This week is good for me because I'm working on a Berkshire Avenue this week. So
Tomorrow?
and I live near the Oak and Cake package store, so I'm in that neighborhood all week. I could meet you any day, anytime. I can meet you there tomorrow morning at 9 if you want.
All right, let's do it.
All right, and I'll let them know so that they can be available to drive their car in and out once I put the stakes in.
Okay, so 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
All right,
All right.
and then we'll go from there, and I'll
Yes.
reschedule a meeting.
Be quick. Okay, so we're
Thank you.
gonna put a motion to continue for further info.
Motion to continue.
Seconded?
Second? Who seconded?
I did. Bill?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Motion is carried for continuance. And our next meeting would be, I think, on the 22nd.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so tomorrow you'll be meeting with Tom at about 9 o'clock.
Okay.
All right.
Done deal.
I should be able to make it too. I'll do my best to be there.
Okay,
Okay.
good. Okay, very good. Thank you, Glenn.
Why doesn't everybody show up and we'll just have another meeting there in the driveway?
For those of us who can make it, yes.
We'd love to, with open forum.
That's the way things used to be done in a back room somewhere. And now you have to post the meeting and let everybody know that wants to know. So
Okay, well, I think we passed that around long enough. We're
Okay,
running behind quite a bit for our second.
yep.
Okay. Let's see. Let me read the next one in. It still involves Glenn, so no problem there. Let's see. If I got the right piece of paper. Here it is. For publication in Westfield Evening News, School Street, Westfield, from Board of Appeals, Town of Southwick, Southwick, Mass. For release May 26th and June 1st, 2020. Notice is hereby given of a public hearing to be held Monday, June 8th, 2020, online via Zoom at 7:15. We're running way behind. To hear the petition of Thomas Macchietto, I guess. I hope that's correct. 12 Barney View Road, Southwick, Mass. The petitioner is requesting a front setback variance of 30 feet, a rear setback of 20 feet, and a right side setback of 4 feet in order to add on to existing garage. Okay, are all the necessary parties here for that?
Yeah.
I'm here still.
Yeah, well, we figured that. It's a good thing. So we're trying to add on to the garage. How much are we adding onto the garage?
Adding 8 feet.
Making another garage, basically.
I'm making the garage that he has 8 feet larger so he can get a second car into it. I'm going to add a door. He has one 9-foot door. And if I add 8 feet, I can give him another door and a few feet extra for his workbench. So I've written down, so it's not going to be any further back towards the back line or any closer to the road than the existing garage is now. But of course, it's existing non-conforming right now.
Well, you're cutting the sideline down to 5
9
feet.
feet. It'll be 9 feet when it's done instead of 10. I'm looking for a 4-foot variance because the understood property line isn't marked.
Hmm.
They have a row of hedges, they have a row of trees, and everybody agrees that that's the property line. And we tried to find the pin in the front. We couldn't find it. Couldn't find the one in the back against Prifty's property. But the row of bushes and everything, we're going to be 9 feet finished from that.
So,
So we're only going to really be encroaching by a foot on the side.
That
Reality.
that fence on the western side of the house looks pretty predominant as far as the boundary line goes. Maybe you can measure from that the full width of the lot and see where that puts you.
What's the height of this garage going to end up being?
Oh, wait a minute. Let's finish the property line first before we change
Oh,
that.
okay.
You hear what I'm saying, Glenn?
Measuring from the other side?
I mean, 100, just drag over 100 feet and find out where that puts you. Because that look at the photograph online. I mean, it looks pretty serious, that fence that's sitting there.
Yeah, there is a fence there, if I remember right, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, driving by that house, it's pristine. It's like brand new. They've redone the whole house, looks like.
Right.
And you got a nice room in between the house and the garage now. So, and there is very little room to add another garage on that side. Very little. They put the hedge, unless they're taking the hedge down.
Well, it's not a hedge, really. It's a row of flowers, maybe, I want to say.
There's some evergreens in there.
Yeah. So they just want to make that bigger for a 2-car. That's it.
And we don't need.
So, you know, Glenn, looking at that, at the garage that's existing, it's kind of hard to determine how big, this is going to be one long, I mean,
Yeah.
we're looking at, like, what do you think that is, the whole length of the garage now?
Well, part of that picture is, if you're looking at the top view on the plot plan, the garage itself is only that part that jogs out in the back. The rest of that's a breezeway.
I was looking at the front view that someone drew. I think that was you. And it's got a 7 by 9 foot door, and it's got another space,
Do you still want to listen?
and then it's got an 8-foot addition. So, I mean, is it like 25 feet across or 30 feet?
Well, I didn't measure that part.
Where I'm going is that, you know, that end part in particular, where he's got his workbench.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not really, I mean, that's a nice thing to have. I get that, but because we're crowding that boundary line so much, isn't there another place to put that?
I'm seeing you guys. Bye-bye.
Oh, the workbench?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I could make it deeper and closer to the back line, I suppose, just enough for a workbench.
It wouldn't affect it that much, would it?
It probably wouldn't, no.
I would vote for that, and that would give you 2 or 3 feet back anyway.
Well, all I really need is a foot before I'm encroaching, right?
I don't understand the question.
If I reduce the area I've left for a workbench on the right-hand side, on the far right of the addition, reduce it from, I
I don't know what that dimension is. It says 2 by 4 wall, but it doesn't tell me what, is it like 4 feet across or 3 feet across?
Yeah, who the hell drew these things?
You did.
Yeah, it's not much. It's only a couple of feet. Let's see, 5 feet of existing, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4. Actually, it's 3 or 4 feet, yeah.
Yeah. Ditch that. You're only adding, now you're only asking for 4 or 5 feet rather than 8 feet.
Can I share another picture?
I actually have a scale right here. I can measure it.
Nope, wrong one.
I know. Relax. Okay. There's the one car right now with the extra on the right side, Tom, I think what he's talking about with the
Yep.
workbench area. And then there's a room, I kind of cropped it by accident, but there's a room on the left side of that before the house.
Yep.
So that tree on the right you would basically be right up on that.
Well, that tree's not there anymore.
I was there yesterday.
What?
We moved it overnight.
I took this
All
last night.
All right, no, it's been so long since I've been over there. I don't remember a tree, but
And then there's a fence right behind it that runs down the property line right there.
okay.
Well, like I said, you're gonna be literally like 3 or 4 feet from that.
Right. He wanted just to leave just enough room to get his tractor by so he can mow the grass.
So I beg the question, Glenn, I want to hear your answer. What's the hardship? You got a brand new house with a 1-car garage with an extra space for a mower or workbench and a room next to it. And actually an addition on the back of that house too. There's like a big room on the back of this.
On the back of
The house. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's the same thing. He's buying a new car and he wants to get it out of the snow. He doesn't want to keep it out in the driveway.
There's a 1-car right there waiting for him.
Right. Well, he's buying another one.
Well,
He keeps his pickup truck in the one side.
I'd like to buy another one too.
What's
I
that?
only have 2 cars. What I'm saying is, I understand the other place has no garage. And you're trying to put a 2-car up there, which is a lot, but this one already has a 1-car that's well positioned and well sized. It's an oversized 1-car. I mean, from a hardship, the lot is 0.3 acres in a business restricted zone. You need 40,000 square feet again, 200 foot of frontage, and you got 100. You have nowhere near the acreage on a lot that is hard to work with on the right side because you're encroaching on the neighbor. But you already have a garage. If you didn't have anything, I understand. But if they went to the left, they'd have a 2-car right there. That whole room could become a garage.
On the left side of the house?
Yeah, left side of the garage.
Oh, well, that's a breezeway. It's not deep enough for a car. The existing garage is only 22 feet deep to begin with.
Well, that's the standard size, but
That breezeway is only like 10 feet deep.
yeah,
But can't you make it?
that's my point, I guess.
Oh, could turn the breezeway into another garage?
Yeah. If they want to get 2 without expanding their foundation or their footprint. Anyway, I know it's a lot of work, but I don't stretch that hardship for inclement weather. I get it. A lot of people don't have any garages, and on a small lot near the lakes, we try to work with that. I just trying to figure out the hardship on this well-made manicured home that has a garage already. It's on a small lot in an area of town that has small lots,
Right.
no garages or barely one. They have a room next to it on top of it, so they got like a bonus. You look at all those houses around there, they have carports or they have, they're very little garages at all.
Yeah.
So, and there's just not a lot of room on those lots.
Well,
Anyway, that's my 2 cents to the team.
okay.
I'll stop sharing now if you guys are good.
What's our zoning on this thing?
BR,
That's what I thought.
yeah. So you need a lot of variance there. I'm not sure the back, it's even. The rear is,
The rear says 50 feet and he's showing 51.
pretty close, maybe close, yeah.
Well, just barely makes it. But I don't like the having to be on the right-hand side. I don't like that.
I know, there's no room.
We need at least 10 feet. We gotta be able to get back there
Right,
in case of fire. I mean, I'm sure the fire chief would agree with that.
So if I reduce this down, reduce the garage down a foot, make it a foot smaller and leave 10 feet to the property line, would that pass?
We're gonna make a 7-foot garage.
Yeah, the door would be smaller. It won't be a 9-foot door, but maybe I could talk him into shrinking the other door down.
yeah.
Make 2 8-foot doors instead of 2 9-foot doors. Maybe I could talk him into that.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds good.
You really have no room on that right side by putting 8 feet there. Because you know, it's gonna probably be more like 9 or 10 by the time you're done with the foundation and clearing around it and rock and whatever, but they probably put bushes over there, whatever they want to do, but there's not a lot of room.
All right, so,
But again, I'm struggling with the hardship.
I don't see any hardship, but
According to the law, it says that owing to circumstances only relating to soil conditions, shape, or topography of land and structure, especially affecting such land. So in order for him to get that variance, he has to give us one of those reasons to create a hardship. It says the fact that something may be simply desirable
Right.
or even seemingly sensible, but is prohibited by the ordinance does not equate to a hardship.
Right. Where the one on the lake has the more of the shape of the lot and the topography fits better for that garage.
Well, plus one of the hardships can be historical, and the lake certainly for us has always been a historical
Nightmare.
thing.
Yeah.
And so that fits in a little more.
I don't know. I don't see one for this. This is a perfectly flat, level, nice piece of property in a small neighborhood, you know? And they maximized that foundation by putting the room in between the garage and the house with a breezeway. Anyway. I don't know. Tom, your comment at all, or?
Yeah, I hear the hardship part, and you're right, Bill. I think that's a valid argument. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I think Glenn could do a little magic on that 8 foot and cut it down to maybe 4 if he's very creative, you know, and then maybe, you know, you're not asking for that much.
Well, don't forget, you got setback is gonna be a ton, acreage is a ton, and the frontage is half. It's gotta have 200 feet of frontage over there.
Right, but the house is already there.
I agree, and it has a garage.
Right. I know. You're right. You're asking my thoughts. Is like I understand the hardship. Does he have a good argument for hardship? No, not really. That doesn't really have one at all.
oh,
And then
right.
I'm thinking, okay, if we could get past that, then what?
Right.
Then we
well,
got the side lot is just disappearing.
Right.
So I would ask, you know, I would challenge the builder to say, hey, you know, there's a little bit of gravy in that design that could be whittled out. So those are the two. That's where I'm at.
Well, if I was to shrink it down and eliminate the side boundary issue,
Well, that's one variance that would go
you
away.
still don't have a hardship, I guess, but I
No,
mean, would it something you'd consider passing or what?
Is that a 10-foot side yard requirement?
Yes.
That
It is.
neighborhood is 10-foot side yard, yep.
yeah,
And you're claiming you have, even with the 8-foot addition, you have 9 feet left?
Right.
So you're not even asking for variance on the side.
Well, I'm asking for 3 feet,
Yeah.
I think.
we may be, I don't know, we don't know the exact dimensions.
Well, all right, wait a minute. Let's say we can get that to 10 feet plus, and we're comfortable we have that. So I'd ask him to go to like 11 or 12 if he could. I think, Glenn, you could whittle off 3 feet and it wouldn't kill your design at all.
I don't,
So your
yeah, I
9
probably
goes at
would.
12 and there is no variance.
I actually got that 17-foot dimension from Art on his computer.
Well, right, but you got a 9-foot side yard. So come inside that, and Bill, the only variance he's asking for is existing geometry. Right?
Right, I mean, yeah, the front and the back side yard, they're not gonna change.
That 51 feet is not gonna get reduced for your new construction. Correct? That's probably not a variance anyway.
Well,
Well, Art thought it
on the
was because
side,
it was,
it should be a special dimensional permit, not a variance anyway.
Well, right. But all right, so if you can get inside the 10-foot requirement, then you're not asking for anything else to be relaxed other than what's already there. Is that correct?
Yes, I agree with you, Tom, that if that side variance goes away, then we would just be giving variances for the dimensions that are already there.
Without a good hardship.
Correct.
That's the biggest thing you get challenged on.
Well, okay, but that lot was designed prior to that set of bylaw requirements?
What requirement? That there's a hardship?
No. I mean, this lot was laid out and accepted by the town.
Yeah,
So
with a garage.
Right, but he's not asking for, if he's not, I understand you're limited, with a non-compliant lot, you're limited to your original footprint, right? Okay, so that's the only thing that's changing. He's no longer under his original footprint. But the hardship is that this house was never compliant, nor were the neighbors.
So
That's really not a hardship.
Well, what is it then?
there isn't one. That's the problem.
But I'm saying, like, you just said a minute ago, Mike, that down at the lake, we accept a lot of shenanigans because the lots are so small, no one meets the requirements, and then we work it.
Well, because there's topography, Tom.
Wait a minute. We treat that as a hardship, don't we?
No. The slope
In
of the
order
land is.
to meet a hardship, you have to go by the definition that the state gives you. And that's not one of the things. So
Isn't the land size or the one you read with topography?
Right.
So the topography is
It's flat.
limited, right?
well,
Size.
it might be that if he were trying to put it there and he had to move it because he couldn't put it where he wanted to because the soil was quicksand. And so he had to move it somewhere. And that's an example of why you might have topography or soil condition.
Let me ask you a question. Why is that house even there? How did that house get there? It was allowed to be non-compliant, right?
No, it was built before the laws.
So they changed the law, and now he's non-compliant. And now it's his bad. I thought that was part of the hardships that we worked out, that was something that we could accept as a hardship.
But nobody's coming in trying to take his house away because it's not compliant. The question comes up because he's trying to add something onto the house. That's why
he's not infringing on any variances. He's not asking for a variance on his addition.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not. Well, no.
Yeah, the lot's not in compliant. The frontage is not in compliant. And the setback's not in compliant.
But whether or not we add the garage, it's still the same situation. It's non-compliant.
If it didn't have a garage, I would be more inclined to say, okay, you got to work with that to try to get the convenience of having that for safety. You have that. You have one. A lot of those places don't have any down there.
I think the biggest problem we run into is if we allow that becomes like a blanket variance that anybody else that comes to us and says, I want to build this within 9 feet because you allowed so-and-so. What's the difference between what so-and-so has and what we have?
Well, my understanding is precedence doesn't matter. These are every case is unique.
Tell me what's
I
unique
think
about
you
this.
said it one time.
Not in a court of law. Once you grant something, somebody else could sue us and say, well, you gave it to them. Why can't I have it?
Can I say something?
Sure.
It's always been my understanding for a long time now, no matter what town I'm in, and even in Connecticut, I just did one in Connecticut, that as far as the front setback and the back setback are concerned, if I didn't stick past the original structure, then a variance wasn't even necessary. Or if I didn't stick past the building next door in some cases, which was,
10%.
Well,
you know, the only reason I asked for a variance in the front and the back was because Art told me to. But
well, you
before
have
Art,
to.
before Art, I was always told that as long as it didn't stick further out than the existing building, then the variance wasn't necessary. So in
Oh, yeah.
past years, I would have only asked for a side variance. And
If it kept the same foundation, that's true.
if it kept the same parallel line with the existing building.
No.
It's the foundation.
You still need a variance for that front,
All right.
but not, it's not what you asked for. You asked for how much front? 30 feet.
30. Yeah,
I don't see 30 feet. It's just the same dimension as the other lot, actually, 75 minus 57.
Well, that's because it's 57 feet to the road, but I don't think the pin is actually at the road. I think the pin is about 6 or 7 feet from the road. If I look at there was another topographical map that I looked at online that showed that the pin isn't at the road. It's actually in from the road, 5-6 feet. So that's where the extra footage comes in. The 57 is to the street, which
Yeah.
is, I don't think the street's the property line. I think the
You're
property line is actually,
calling the pin at about 50 feet then, instead of 57.
it's probably 50, right? The actual property line is probably 50.
All right,
Right.
so the most you need is 25 feet then, not 30.
I agree.
And on the rear, it looks like you don't need any, but you're asking for,
Oh, I just asked for that because I thought the back was 65.
It's 50.
I mean, I thought you needed 65.
No, you need 50.
No, the rear is 50.
All right, well, that goes right to Prifty's fence. So that's like there's a pin right there next to the fence. Or supposed to be. He said there was one.
we're all set with the rear is what we're saying.
All right.
Well, the big challenge here is the right side, and I'm going to insist on at least 10.
I can break it down to 10. I can give you 11. I can keep within the 10 foot. I don't have to go 8 feet. I can shrink it down a little bit to make it happen.
So how much variance are we needing on the right-hand side then?
Well, I won't need any if I leave 10 feet, I won't need any variance, right?
That's correct.
Right.
And the only issue is the front one.
And the size of the lot.
Well, there's nothing you can do about the front one, so
I
just.
understand.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking in the hardship.
You mean the non-existent hardship, you mean?
Yeah.
So if there's nothing I can do about the front boundary line, then there's probably nothing I can do about the hardship.
We don't see a hardship, I mean, frankly, we just don't see
Right.
a hardship.
That's my hang up right now. We have plenty come in front of us that don't have a lot to deal with garage, and we try to make that work to get something for someone, but when they already have a nice oversize with a breezeway on a small lot that's non-conforming, I think is pretty magnanimous.
It's a very small lot.
If you look at the percentage of the building to the percentage of the land, it's pretty big if you put even another 4 or 5 feet on it. Again, my opinion, I don't have to be right or wrong, I guess, but
Well, I mean, I think we're all in agreement with that.
I'm just stretching for a hardship, and I don't have a good one. Somebody can still put a motion, though. We have to come up with the dimensions. I think we got quite a bit.
Well, I'll change the 8 to a 6 and a 9 to an 11.
Yeah,
So if it's 11 feet, then we're good on the sideline.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So we don't need any kind of variance there at all.
So I just need some kind of a hardship for the front.
Well, no.
No.
Well, yeah, I mean, to even to why you're putting it on, to do the addition. Buying a new car is not a hardship.
I understand that. I
It
can't
seems to-
make a hardship up. All I can do is start crying.
I know.
It wouldn't be the first. Good. What about the, so he could knock out that breezeway and fit in 2-car garage?
Oh, absolutely. You just go deeper.
So he's got room to move. Doesn't want, I'm sure he doesn't want to do that.
And doing that, Tom, creates a hardship for him because that would be inconveniencing him.
That's true. There's your hardship.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
No, we could just deny the whole thing.
yep. Well, I can put it to a vote, Paul, if somebody puts a motion up, you know.
I haven't heard a motion yet.
Might make a suggestion, if Glenn's got to come back in 2 weeks, why doesn't he kind of chew this over and give us an actual, another hand-drawn plan with the new dimensions in it, and maybe he and the homeowner can come up with a definition of a hardship, and we can quickly consider it then, rather than just making a decision now.
Okay.
And look at taking that breezeway out. The breezeway is only there just to protect you going from garage to house. So what? Move it out.
Or you could put a small walkway there.
A workbench.
All right, Glenn, you want to discuss that with your people?
I can.
And we can get back together on that one too.
On the 22nd?
So we'll
Yep.
table that till the 22nd also?
Right.
So I'll put a motion to,
Does he agree to table that to that point?
Yep.
He has to agree, because otherwise we'll go past our limit and then it automatically is accepted. So he has to request that or agree to it.
I think Glenn just said that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think I did.
so I'm putting a motion to continue this hearing till the 22nd for further feedback from the petitioner.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Motion carries, so we'll have the continuance until the 22nd on this appeal as well. Okay,
all right. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you,
All
Glenn.
right,
Good
Glenn.
morning, Glenn.
See you in
Thank
the
you,
morning.
Wendy.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Good job.
Thanks, Wendy.
What are they
You're welcome.
doing now with the timetable? Normally, when somebody gives us a petition, they have a certain number of days, 75 days, for us to act on it. What are they
Yeah, it'll
doing?
be 2 weeks. We're gonna be in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, Mike.
Say that again? They're
We'll be
giving,
meeting again in 2 weeks on this.
but I'm saying, when somebody enters a petition now,
Yep.
because we haven't been meeting and
Oh, I don't know.
board has been suspended,
I got you.
because what the law says, that if you go over 75 days, they automatically get it. If the board doesn't act on it in 75 days, it automatically is passed.
Yeah, we're gonna be
So
acting on it.
Pass
I'm
that already.
wondering what they're doing with this timetable of 75 days now.
So
Well,
Mike,
Yeah,
I-
February, it was put in February, Mike.
I know, that's what I'm saying. What are they doing as far as?
75 days. However, under the circumstances, everything's out the window these days for
Yeah,
Right.
the timetable. So.
I think we're right. We're good. Okay.
Yeah, hey, there's a hardship. He needs a garage to get out of the way from the coronavirus.
Got the breezeway for that.
Oh, all right.
Glenn, good try.
All right, so I put a motion to adjourn. Are we done?
Put us down.
I think we're done.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
We have one more
Oh,
hearing on
You did my neighbor's yard, Brian Walker, Brian Michelle. You did their driveway. Yeah, and it looks nice. And
who we talking.
I had a guy out here. I was kind of happy with him, and then I thought of that. So, any chance you can shoot out here sometimes if you're not too busy
Who we talking to here?
Tom's talking to somebody on his end.
tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow?
Okay.
Oh, all right.
All right. When are you ready to start?
I don't know. I think so. Let's do that. Is that the 12th?
Can you mute him, Wendy?
I will look. Hold on.
I'd rather not say.
Okay, I think I got it.
Yep, you did.
Yep.
Good
Okay.
job. All right. So we need, I got a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, well, I was just going to comment. We have another hearing
Oh, sorry, Paul.
on the 22nd. We have another hearing.
Okay.
It'll be these two plus the other one. So the other one was already scheduled for 7 o'clock. Wendy.
Yep, 7 o'clock on the 22nd.
We have
All right.
information you're going to send us, Wendy, or?
Yep, I'll send you a packet like I did this time.
Oh, okay, beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Maybe you can open the town hall before then. Work on that, will you, Bill?
That's in the phase 2-ish,
all right. Part 2 of phase 2?
right?
Yeah, okay.
All right, can I put a motion now?
You
To
may.
adjourn? Okay. Motion adjourn.
Wait,
Second.
All right, all in favor?
I.
Aye. Aye, aye, Captain.
Good night, gentlemen.
Take care, guys.